Financial, and our group really acts as an umbrella group for tax and mergers and acquisition specialists. We bring those curated people to the table to help our business clients do a better job of tax management as well as future planning for their eventual transition, whether it's sale of the business or keeping it, transitioning it to other members of the family, partnership sales, etc. There's a gap that exists for that smaller business owner, a successful business that's 5, 10, 20, 30 million in sales. They fall below the radar typically of the larger accounting firms that have inside advisory specialists. They really don't have the time or attention to spend on the smaller business yet. The wealth accumulation that's occurring in the small business marketplace is significant. There just isn't the bandwidth for those firms to help. And that's where we are trying to fill that gap. Uh, we sort of layer in on top of the other planning that's already currently being done through our clients' CPAs, attorneys, and financial advisors. We really started out more as an estate planning and personal financial planning group, and we've added the business succession, M&A, and business building value piece to our practice because we've found that oftentimes the largest asset of the client is the business, and they really weren't very well prepared to sell. Frankly, a lot of clients got to the point where they were just sort of selling when they needed to sell it and not necessarily at a time that was of their choosing. Sometimes it was an economic reason, health reason, disagreements among partners, divorce, other family dynamics that created the urgency to sell the business. They weren't prepared to sell the business. They didn't extract the value that they should have from the business. And all of those complicated the estate planning. So ultimately, what we decided to do was to curate that side of the advisory space so that we could serve this client space as efficiently as possible. The way we're organized is individual practices collaborating under one engagement. The engagement would be through BE Financial, and then the other strategy partners come in, and there could be side engagements for their specialty. Sometimes there's a virtual CFO that's needed, or somebody who's a product distribution person that can help build the value of the business. A lot of times we find businesses, their metrics aren't that clean, and they need to be cleaned up. There's a lot of personal expenses flowing through the business sometimes that really, when it gets down to, when you're selling it to somebody outright, those things need to be taken back out. Value needs to be reestablished. And then what can you do to increase the value of the business? So all of that ultimately becomes a tax issue. And so that's where we start. We usually will initially engage the client tax focus first. Let's see what you're doing with the taxes. Oftentimes there are savings or strategies that can be implemented that will help with the tax performance, after tax cash flow, if you will, right off the bat. And then from there, then we will drill down deeper into what the plans are for the business and bring maybe it's private PE or micro PE or just some lenders or estate planning attorneys, et cetera, to the table to help with the M&A transition. Estate planning hasn't been a big deal for a lot of the clients over the last 10, 15 years. The exclusions went significantly higher through various tax law changes, but a lot of that is sunsetting in 2026. So we're anticipating now that estate planning is going to become more of a focus as well of this work. So there's a number of things going on in the space. There's a lot of older, aging clients that need to sell their business. They're planning on selling the business. They don't really have a handle on the value of it. They're just kind of hoping for the best. We want to change that dynamic and sort of provide what the larger M&A advisory teams do at the larger accounting firms, and provide this through more of a boutique operation, especially geared for that smaller business owner. Again, 5 million in sales up to maybe 30, 40 million in sales, maybe even a little higher. Typically the sweet spot where 80% of our clients are. If we run into bigger cases, then we will move them up and maybe actually move them into one of the larger accounting firms. But most cases are, it's not a fit for them. They don't have the bandwidth. They're plenty busy doing large scale M&A with very high exorbitant fees. Really not the right place for the private business owner that we cater to. So that's how it works. Hope this gives you a better, clearer idea of where we add value. It's done on a fee engagement basis, sort of one step at a time. So, we'll layer the fees on as needed. And every step along the way, your existing CPA, attorney, other trusted advisors, family members are at the table. What we do is take the time off the table for you and create the agenda. We move the process forward. We do the analytics, and then we meet with you as we go. And it's a piecemeal process until we sort of develop an overall structure. Might take 6 months to 12 months to sort of kind of get everything put together. The valuation starts early, so we know kind of at least what we're looking at. Then we look at the taxes at that time, and then we start to layer on some of the other strategies. Get the first things going is to try to increase after-tax cash flow. From there, that covers our fees, usually 2 or 3 times what we're charging. We will save initially in that work, and then it's a coordination of the estate planning and the other sort of ancillary, kind of longer-term range work that clients need. So that's in a nutshell what we do. I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.